Welcome to Sidelined with Jonny and Noah. This is episode 12. I am Jonny.
And I'm Noah. In this episode, we're going to be doing the usual news around the league, injuries, and a couple of new things headed your way, including a new segment that we're going to be talking about later. So let's get right into it. And in news around the league, we have
A couple interesting things. Everson Griffin, the defensive end for the Vikings, had a controversial post on Instagram, which was taken down, and now he is getting care that he needs after that. 14 hours of him and the police working with him to get him out of his house to get him the help he needs. So
yeah, he had a loaded handgun. Worried that there was someone in his house. There's a home intruder.
Yeah.
And he's had history like this before with mental health issues. He's taken a break off from the team in the past, and hopefully he gets the help he needs.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is something very serious. There was no person found from what I recall, and
hope he's okay.
Hope he's all right.
Yeah, another thing we have, the wide receiver / return man of the Saints, Deontay Harris, is appealing a 3-game suspension from a DUI. Obviously, not very good, but he's going to be suspended because that's not in the rule book. You can't do that in the NFL.
Yeah, but the thing about that I'm curious about is Marcus May had a DWI or DUI earlier in the year, and he faced no repercussions of it.
Yeah,
actually.
that's questionable. A lot of these DUIs with these players, some of them don't get
I guess
in any trouble.
Different case, I guess. Yeah.
And then finally, we have a really good matchup in this weekend's games.
It's the rematch of Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams, the best corner in the league, versus the best receiver in the league.
I like that.
We saw that in the playoff matchup last year.
It was a good one.
We really didn't see much. It was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
And this year, we're probably going to get a little bit more action with that.
Yeah,
Rodgers going to be throwing the ball. I believe that they're in LA, so it's going to be nice warm weather.
There you go.
So we'll have to see what that turns out to be. And moving on, we'll be doing our injuries. John, you're going to cover the IR for this week.
Players coming back from IR, we have Bradley Chubb. We have Michael Carter going on IR. We have
Kareem Hunt as well.
Kareem Hunt coming back from the IR. We have Trey White with the ACL in Thursday night's game, so he's going to be going on the IR for the season. And we have AJP, your guy. He's going on the IR.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with the injury this year, so that's sad to see.
Struggling with injury his career.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all the IRs. What do we have for the weeklies?
Well, for the weekly, we have Antonio Brown out again with an ankle injury. He should have been placed on IR at this point.
I feel like that was a waste of roster spot.
It's beyond a couple of weeks that they could have used.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Joe Hayden as well is also out. Same thing with Asante Samuel, a young up-and-coming cornerback for the Chargers. He's out with a concussion. Logan Ryan is still on the COVID list for the Giants, so that really doesn't help them.
Yeah, and he's vaccinated
He's vaccinated, so he must really be sick.
Yeah.
And of course, Aaron Rodgers with the supposed COVID foot.
COVID toe.
He has a broken toe,
Yeah.
and he got it over COVID.
Yeah.
He's not going to miss time, he says. Their bye week is coming up. He's looking to stay healthy, and, I guess just stay tuned on what happens with that. It should be pretty funny.
Interesting. Now we're going to jump into a new segment. One's actually pretty interesting. It's called What Wins Chips. Pretty much like what aspects of the game will help a team win a championship. What do you have?
We're going to be nominating one each. I'm going to be starting with the run game. I feel like that's a solid one. We all know running the ball improves the offense, improves the defense. It allows them. It takes down the opponent's defense. It makes them more tired. It gives the offense more time with the ball. It makes the defense more tired. It gives them your defense more time to rest up. And I'm going to come up with a few examples of teams that have been succeeding in the running game, which also cause them to succeed in winning games. The Colts, of course, Jonathan Taylor, possible MVP candidate.
I think that's definitely in the cards.
Maybe we'll be going over that in a few weeks as well. And they've been running the ball excellent, and they've been winning a lot of games recently. Same thing with the Browns. They've always had the reputation for running the ball really well. Another team that's had a great reputation for running the ball really well are the Patriots. And they're really... Mac Jones, although he's a rookie quarterback, he's not the best guy. He's not.
Yeah.
He is the guy for them. They have a solid running game, which is really leading them
It
down the
helps
line
them.
with a lot of wins. Same thing with the Titans. Of course, we know the Titans are a run team because of
The
Derrick
best
Henry.
running team in the NFL.
Yeah, so
I might
now
add.
it's hard for me to use them as an example now, but they aren't really succeeding as much
It's true.
on the passing game without a run game.
And Ryan
Because that's just what
Tannehill-
happens.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill doesn't look good.
It doesn't look great, no.
And we mentioned him in our For Fantasy Sake episode right here. We said to bench him because he's not going to have a good outing without
He's
AJB.
not. Maybe bench him for a couple weeks, actually, now, yeah.
I think so.
And then another example, now we'll jump into the NFC. Of course, I've covered plenty of AFC teams. The 49ers, they've always been a run offense. Jimmy Garoppolo can throw the ball pretty well, but obviously you're not going to depend on him. He's not a superstar quarterback. They just pull running backs out of nowhere and they look amazing, it seems like. The Eagles, they just recently hit their stride. I know saying the Eagles makes a lot of people cringe a little bit.
It's questionable, but
because
I can see where you're
beginning
coming
of the
from.
season, they were not winning a lot of games. They were getting blown out. They weren't playing that well. They start running the ball some more. They let Jalen Hurts loose. Last week he had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Which was crazy.
Miles Sanders, who barely got over 40 yards his first couple weeks, went on the IR, came back. He ran for 94.
Yeah, that was really impressive too.
And the same thing with Dallas. Dallas, of course, they are also a passing offense. So I'm not going to say that Dallas's running game is their entire reason for the success.
But with Zeke,
Zeke is a running back, and he's a really great running back. And why not, give Dak a break? He's been struggling with injury all this year, so why not? And then same thing with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is a rushing quarterback, so it's just easier to run the ball. And James Conner is suddenly one of these star running backs in the league with 11
most
rushing
touchdowns in the league. That's
most
pretty
touchdowns,
impressive.
And then we have the Panthers. Speaking of a rushing quarterback, Cam Newton's back. And look at how this team looks. They look although they lost last week, they look really dangerous. Chris McCaffrey can run the ball, of course, well too. But with the running game, that brings the defense's stamina down. That brings your defense's stamina up because they get more time to rest.
True.
It gives the offense more time with the ball, and that always produces wins. So I'm saying that the running game is what's producing a lot of success for these teams.
All right, that's interesting. I'm going to go the opposite here. I'm going to go with the defense. I think defense wins championships. Obviously, offense can win you games, but I think defense is going to be like just your core of your team. And if your offense is putting up points, your defense needs to be able to stop the other team.
Yeah, look at all the examples. Like Packers, they couldn't stop anyone on defense.
Exactly, yeah.
Last year, of course.
Yeah, that's true. But I have some interesting stats that are kind of, I don't know, interesting. First, I have Robert Quinn, third in the NFL with sacks. He has 11 sacks this year, which is kind of crazy. He's been going under the radar the last few years. He's an older player, so he obviously doesn't get the spotlight as these younger players do, like the Watt brothers and everybody else like
and the
that.
Bosa brothers.
Yeah, and the Bosa brothers. But the Bears actually lead the league in sacks, which is surprising.
That is surprising.
I know they're not winning, so I'm kind of going against what I'm saying, but their offense is that bad.
They look like a premier defense, though.
They
always do.
And they have been the last few years. They lead the league in sacks with 32. So I think that if their offense gets in check, they can win games, which leads them to a championship. Another stat, the Dallas Cowboys were terrible on defense last year, like the worst in the league, statistically. And this year, they're turning it around all of a sudden with Dan Quinn. Props to him, but also props to the new rookie linebacker / pass rusher. He leads the league in TFLs with 15 as a rookie.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is special. I mean,
he's your do-it-all guy. He's going around the field, he's making plays, making tackles, and sacking the quarterback. And he looks phenomenal. And I think he is one of the key pieces to this Dallas defense, which is going to eventually lead them, hopefully not as a Giants fan, but into the playoffs. And I think that they're going to possibly do good because their offense is very good, and then their defense is just playing on another level compared to last year. So I think the defense is the real core to this team. I mean, there's not much else to say about that defense. It's a little old school, what I'm saying, but the defense is your core to winning a championship.
Yeah, of course. And no diss against Tom Brady, but if you do pull up his past championships, you could see a great defense can win championships. Of course, he's an amazing quarterback. He's had an amazing career. But if you look at the stats, that defense, without a great defense,
almost every single year.
Look at Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Their offense has been great year after year. They just couldn't make it back to the big game. Why?
Because their defense
fell apart.
And that's how they were last year. The defense was so bad last year The Giants beat them, which was saying something. I mean, the Giants
Yeah.
were really bad with Colt McCoy.
And the Saints, they're sicking in the wild card because of their great defense
Exactly.
right now.
And they have Trevor Siemian leading the team.
Yeah, he's not playing
But he hasn't-
terrible,
yeah,
but
exactly.
he's not winning them games. He's
And they
not
haven't
the
had
X factor.
Kamara,
Exactly.
Michael Thomas. They have no number one receiver. So
I mean,
their defense
they're
is their
they're
core and
recently
backbone.
on a losing streak.
Yeah.
But you can see that their defense is really carrying them this
Exactly.
year.
And what's our last segment we have?
Well, now we're going to be jumping into the game plan,
Mhm.
where we're going to be predicting our game of the week and the winner of that game.
Okay.
Hopefully, we are more successful in this one than we were in the Thanksgiving episode.
We're a little unlucky here. My game of the week, I'm going to go with the 49ers versus the Vikings. I think this is a really even match. Both teams good at running the football.
They
both
look really
effective.
hot lately, too.
Exactly. They've both been on a roll. Vikings have been getting really unlucky losing games recently. They
And
should
then they
have.
got the big one against the Packers.
Yeah, they beat the Packers, but before that, they've been getting really unlucky. I think the Vikings coming off that huge win against the Packers, divisional matchup, I think they're going to be the hot hand in this game. I think they're going to squeeze out a victory. I think it's going to be close because the 49ers are not sure about Elijah Mitchell yet. He could possibly play, but he's still questionable with the ribs and the ankle. So I think he is going to hopefully affect the game in a positive way. But I'm going to take the Vikings, and I'm going to say 30-27.
That's a good one. I like that. I have Bucks versus Colts.
Mhm.
This is in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Tom Brady has a lot of experience in Indianapolis.
He
Of
has
course,
a lot
he was
there.
going against
Peyton
Peyton Manning for so many years as a Patriot.
Mhm.
This is gonna be an exciting matchup. I think there's two good defenses. I feel like Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor are really gelling well together, and Carson Wentz is getting more confident passing the ball and running the ball. He might have returned to his MVP form back in 2017, I believe.
Yeah.
2018-ish.
Mhm.
I just think it's gonna be an exciting game. It's at Colts, of course, like I said
Yeah.
before. I'm up and down on this. I think the Buccaneers need to bounce back.
Yeah.
You know, did they win last week? I don't.
They beat the Giants, yeah.
They beat
on
the-
Monday Night
okay.
Football. They killed
But they,
them.
but then the week before that, they lost to the football team. So
They're going to definitely have the hot hand in this game.
I think they're coming out for vengeance. I think
Yeah.
Tom Brady should, if he were to win this game and come in, he would definitely be the
Mhm.
for sure front runner for MVP.
I think so.
I think the Colts defense is going to slow him down a little bit, though.
Mhm.
I don't think he's
Not
going
a high
to.
scoring game?
I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but
Okay.
I just don't think it's going to be all Tom Brady. That's the
Gotcha.
reason. I think they're going
A
to
little back and forth.
a little bit back and forth. Yeah, exactly. So
Can't
I'm
stop
gonna
Jonathan Taylor, so I
I'm
get
gonna
it.
take the Buccaneers,
Mhm.
28-27.
Oh, wow. Really close
Very
one.
close
1
game.
point margin there. Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Yeah, but that pretty much wraps up this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any thoughts, let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And follow our socials, of course.
Mhm.
We have it linked in the description.
Yep, in
It's
the
our
link
link
tree.
tree. And you know, have a happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Watch some football
Yeah,
games.
enjoy your football. Yeah. Peace.
Peace.